Today I'm talking with Nick Rizzo, who spent years working around the Bravo and TV world through shows like Watch What Happens Live and events like BravoCon. Nick's also someone with a deep love of pop culture, from Gaga and Liza Minnelli to Broadway and reality TV. So today we're talking about fandom, television, cultural moments, and what it's like to go from watching these worlds to actually being inside them. I'm so happy you're here, Nick.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming
Oh,
on this spring day. See, I knew that like the change in weather was meaning something.
it really is. Spring is here.
Spring has sprung.
We're both queer. Let's
And
fucking go.
Let's get used to it. Everyone else get used to it. I'm really excited to have you, mostly because when I first met you, first of all, that party we met at, you want to talk about how we met?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We met downtown
Yeah.
at a listening party for Kylie Minogue's incredible album, Tension. And Zach and I got to dance to new Kylie music. I want to say 2 or 3 months before it even came out.
Yeah.
With Kylie Minogue
Yeah.
in the room. We were padumming with her, and it was a moment.
Yeah, it was. It was the Padum Padum time. That was that album. She played a listening party, a release party at Outer Heaven downtown, and she played the entire album front to back in the DJ booth.
Our phones were locked
Our
up.
phones were locked up. We weren't allowed to record anything. We like nothing. And it was amazing. It was also like the best unofficial Pride party I've ever been to, because it was that week. It was during Pride. It wasn't like labeled as that, but seriously, like what other Pride party is going to top that?
It was such a pinch me moment,
Yeah.
and to be literally dancing with Kylie Minogue to Padum in the middle of Pride. Like, who can do that?
Yeah.
It was incredible.
And you were a fan before.
Huge
I
fan,
was
yeah.
too. Yeah. Do you remember the first? I remember the first song I'd ever heard of hers. It was "Can't Get You Out of My." It was no. It was "Can't Get You Out of My Head."
Might have been Locomotion for me growing up. I
Yeah.
remember hearing that, and I was, as a little gay boy, I was like, oh, this is fun. Yeah.
Oh, I could keep doing this
Yeah.
over and over. Yeah, I love that one too. That was like the "Wouldn't Change a Thing" like era in the 80s. But like I remember one of my friends when I was a kid like literally singing. I must have been in like, I don't know, it was elementary school or something like that, but like singing, "I can't get you out of my," and I'm like, who is that? And then I heard the song, and then suddenly it was everywhere.
Yeah. I will always remember, I think it was the Brit Awards when she was on the vinyl.
Oh
and
my God, when she
came
comes
out.
in the CD.
Incredible, yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that too.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk award show with you. I want to talk music videos. I want to talk about a lot because you know your stuff. We've been through this plenty. So, okay, let's start. If someone asked what you actually do in the Bravo and TV world, how do you typically explain it?
So I'll typically say I work for Andy Cohen's talk show on Bravo, Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
I've been there since 2013, doing a variety of roles. So I manage our research department and then also work on all of our creative content for the show. And then as a result of that, I'm also pulled into all of these other things at Bravo, be it BravoCon or various reunion specials, or Andy will bring me on to work with Anderson on their New Year's Eve show for CNN. So I spin a lot of different plates. Yeah.
And he's okay with you being here today.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm not trying to upset Big Daddy here.
No.
So what kind of rooms do you find yourself in now that like younger Nick, would have never imagined you'd been in before?
Oh my God. I mean, there have been so many instances where I am truly pinching myself, like at the Kylie listening party,
that's a good
or I mean, just actually a year ago, I was in the room for Gaga had a Spotify press conference for Mayhem.
Yes.
And I also got to listen to Mayhem about a week early. And that was something I wish Nick in college could have known that he was going to be doing that, because I just lost my mind.
Yeah,
and
of course.
that sort of stuff. And anything Bravo related. I've been going to reunions for Housewives for years now, and I always, watching New York specifically, I would be sitting in the event space, wherever the reunion is, and I'm like, how am I here right now?
Yeah.
It's really special.
Dorinda was just she's doing her radio show
On
on
Sirius, on
Sirius,
Radio
yeah.
India.
So she had Lisa Rinna on because Rinna's on the book tour now. Of course, I know she was on Watch What Happens recently, but she had this great idea. She said there should be like a traveling, almost like a night where all of the housewives donate their dresses in either like reunions or confessional looks, for a night for some cause or something like that. I mean, it could literally be, and Lisa was like, yeah, it could be a traveling exhibit.
Yeah. They do something like that at BravoCon. It's one of my favorite parts of it. I think we've had 4 BravoCons now where they will have some kind of Bravo museum. There have been different names throughout the years, but they do have a ton of reunion dresses there, and it is a sight to walk through and see Lisa Rinna's dress,
Yeah.
Dorinda's bubble dress that she wore as Gaga. It's incredible, yeah.
The SNL.
Yeah,
The
NSL, yeah.
NSL, Andy Samberg, Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You do moderate a panel over there.
Yes, yeah, that's really fun too. I love what I do because I always feel like I get to flex a lot of different muscles, but then also I always say it's the perfect Venn diagram of all my pop culture interests. So that it's yeah.
That's actually exactly what I got from you when I met you. I was like, other than like your line of work, it feels like everything you're doing is intentionally inclusive of everything you love.
Yeah. I always say you have to live in the joy. That's one of my favorite things. And just why not just continue to do stuff that makes you happy?
Oh my God! Sorry, I just dropped my cards. That was so beautiful. Excuse me for a moment. I'm a little verklempt on a Monday.
Yeah.
That was lovely. So, what were the first things you were obsessed with growing up, if you can remember?
Definitely Beauty and the Beast and Wizard of Oz. Those were up there for me. I remember I would take a little basket with a dog in it, and I'd go to the doctor's office, and I would just like walk along, singing along Yellow Brick Road and all that stuff. And Beauty and the Beast, like I was in love with Belle, and Maleficent too. She was my first gay icon, I think.
Maleficent?
Yeah,
yeah,
because I was
100%.
obsessed with her, and she was so fierce, and yeah.
That was definitely one of my most watched Disney movies growing up, for sure.
Yeah.
There was a rotation. We all had like the videotapes and whatever. But it was so well done. It was so well made. She was like a perfect villain.
Yeah. And I still was obsessed with her to the point where when I was 16, I think, my parents got me, and now I'm like, I can't believe we never had the conversation about me being gay until I was in college. For my birthday, they got me a like legit 2-foot Maleficent statue. And it's still in my parents' house.
I was going to say, where is this thing?
I was like, what was I thinking? But
Wait,
I was obsessed with it.
From the original film, not the...
not the
Maleficent,
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. Oh my
Like,
God.
oh my God.
And she was voiced by the same actress that voiced the wicked stepmother in
Lady
Cinderella.
Tremaine.
Yeah.
Yes.
That same actress. Wow.
So those were my early touch points.
So obviously there was always pop culture like in the room, in your room, like in the house. That sounds like something
Absolutely.
you like. Yeah. That your family participated in too.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, growing up, musicals and theater were always I was such a little theater kid. And I always think that translates to what I'm doing now, working in talk shows, because
it's live.
And there is this kinetic energy, and it feels
There's
like
an
live theater.
audience,
There's a different show every night. You don't know what's gonna happen, and I love that because it's like you can have a great show and you're on top of the world, and you have to do another show tomorrow, or conversely, you have a really crappy show and you're like, oh, that was such a horrible episode. But the good thing is you have a whole other batch of shows tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which I really love.
What was that happening more when you started? Or are you not feeling like as down about if they weren't as good? Yeah.
No, it's more just like sometimes we have, sometimes it's like mistakes happen. It's live TV.
Yeah.
Maybe the guests aren't as dynamic as you would hope, stuff like that.
So what artist or show first made you feel like this is like very much my world? You said we were a theater kid before. So what was resonating then? You said Beauty and the Beast. You said Belle. Are we
Oh
talking about the
yeah.
musical?
No, the movie for
The
sure. This
movie.
was when I was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But I would say when I really started to dig into pop culture, probably in high school, Lost was a huge
Whoa.
part of my life.
I was not
I
expecting
know.
that.
And it's so funny. I have not rewatched that in so long, but I was obsessive. It became before Housewives. It was really my big meaty
Yeah.
obsession.
And this was like the ABC was really having a run then because they
Yeah.
had Grey's Anatomy first kicking off around then too,
Yeah.
which is still on the air like 20 years later, which is crazy.
Yeah, but there was just something about that show, and I was obsessed. I used the numbers in any situation I could. I had a Dharma jumpsuit. When I was going to college in LA, I would stalk all of the Lost events. I'd run all over the city trying to see J.J. Abrams
Wow.
and David Lindelof talking about it. I loved Lost.
So what was it about it? Do you think the storytelling was just good? I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I remember watching. I don't know if I ever finished it, but there's a lot of context, a lot of flashbacks because it's all these different characters that are marooned on the island.
Yeah. And it was just so immersive, and all of the different fan theories and Easter eggs. I just burrowed into that hole and just kept digging and digging.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but also it ran for what, like 6, 7, 9 seasons?
Yeah.
Did you like how it ended?
I did. I know a lot of people
didn't.
I would love to know what unanswered questions they have. Everyone's biggest critique is that there were so many unanswered questions, but I left and I was very satisfied. So I don't know.
But do you think there was an opportunity for them to create like a prequel show or an origin show or something like that
No.
from there? Like everything was sort of explained.
I felt good. I felt good about it. Yeah.
Okay.
It is. Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to not have something go on and on and on.
Well, do you think they could remake it? It would have to be a while from now.
It would. Yeah, and it would have to be a very specific project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there are too many remakes that come out now?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's best to just let things
Leave
lie.
things lie.
Yeah.
Listen, you know better than anyone that a built-in audience is a very powerful thing.
Absolutely.
When it comes to fandom and all that. But I wish there wasn't as much risk these days as it feels to be able to throw like a new project and a new concept out there.
Totally.
Totally. How about the Oscars this week? What are you looking forward to?
I am really excited for Sinners, and I hope it gets a lot of love.
So it was nominated the same amount of times as I'm gonna screw this up, either like West Side Story or Titanic or something like that. It was like a record like 12 times or something like that. Maybe it was Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
What did you love about it, other than looking at Michael B. Jordan?
Two
of them.
Oh my god. No,
Seeing double.
Yeah, I just thought it was so well done. It was so smart in how it tackled everything, and it's rare to watch a film these days and be completely surprised by what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
I really, really loved that. And Weapons, too, I thought was amazing this year.
Weapons is great.
And One Battle After Another. I mean, Tiana Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, and I think I told you this, but One Battle After Another, this was one of the only times that I have enjoyed a film more at home than I did at the theater.
Really?
I don't know why. I couldn't explain it. I don't know if it was the length of the movie or what, but it was, and maybe I just felt like less distractions. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
But it flew by. And it's very rare when you can get a 3-hour movie to make me feel like it flew by.
Yeah.
That's probably only happened like one or two other times, and one of those times was Lord of the Rings. So it's been a long time.
Love those.
I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd. You touched on Gaga before. I know that like you are like a little monster through and through. I have seen her twice. We've talked about the Mayhem Ball, and everything, Gaga in between. So what was that first like Gaga moment that really got you growing up?
I think
I'll tell you mine. It was the Just Dance. It was hearing Just Dance, and before seeing that video, I think that the Bad Romance video had come out, and actually I would credit the Bad Romance video getting me.
Oh, I still remember where I was. I was in my friend Brad Worgley's. He lived in one of the a cappella houses. I went to USC, and
okay.
there was obviously the Greek life at USC, but then also there were 4 different a cappella groups, and they all had their own houses. And so he wasn't in the group, but he lived in their attic. So
This
I
is
remember
very Pitch Perfect.
It was very pitch perfect, and I remember the Bad Romance video was dropping that night, and we went to his attic apartment room, what have you, and watched it on his laptop on YouTube. And then the next day in film class, that's the only thing anyone was talking about was the Bad Romance video. But I knew Gaga before that. When Just Dance came out, it blew up and I loved it. And then I remember listening and watching the Love Game music video, and then that was when I was like completely hooked.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe that she is still as culturally relevant 18 years later.
I know.
Basically.
And how much she's done.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to my next question. I mean, what do you think she gives fans that like other stars don't?
I think she's just so intentional with everything she does, and everything has a purpose.
Yeah.
She's not doing something just for the sake of doing it. And also in the art that she is producing and the stories that she's telling, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's all interwoven.
Yeah. And I feel like she was the one who gave us the last great music videos, you know?
Interesting.
I feel like it's rare now when an incredible music video comes out. And she had so many. And she was making mini films.
Yeah.
And just, that's not something you see as often anymore.
Do you think music videos are sort of a lost art? I mean, people still come out with music videos, but
there has to be so much product placement now, and it feels like more of an afterthought. Whereas, you know, when Gaga was first coming on the scene, it felt intentional.
Yeah, I think we were still coming off of that like glorious, like, you know, that time of MTV where they were literally breaking music.
Yeah. That was a great time.
That was a great time.
Yeah.
Well, what video, I mean, you said Love Game, all that, but any other video that completely blew your mind the first time you saw it?
And Marry the Night. Marry the Night, I think, is one of the best things she's ever done.
Yeah. That's kind of her thriller.
Yeah.
Like it's longer with like the longer story, all that. I mean, it's really like, it's super intricate and you're completely immersed.
Yeah. And her dancing on that car, and there's flames
and it's raining,
all around her, and it's raining. You can't
free reign.
Yeah, you can't script that. It's perfect.
No. Yeah, she said in an interview, like, you know, oh, we can't shoot. Someone said they couldn't shoot today because of the, you know, the cars were on fire, but it was raining. And she was like, no, we have free reign, like cameras up or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's an icon right there in my eyes.
Absolutely.
Non-Gaga music videos or anything else, like what's resonated the most for you?
I mean, just in terms of music videos, Tiana Taylor for Fade was incredible. For He Who Must Not Be Named. But when I remember watching that when she first came out. I was like, I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she looks
and to see
insane.
her trajectory and see where she is now, it's insane.
I know her name was in the ether for a while, and like everyone knew she was like, you know, not going to be forgotten, was always a big deal. But I mean, she's really having like the year of her life right now.
Yeah,
her career for sure.
Yeah,
she looks fabulous, like unbelievable. So why do you think music videos have become such a big part of queer culture in general?
I think the storytelling of them, and for so many queer people, music videos were some kind of escapism.
Yeah.
Especially when people were closeted or not authentically fully
Themselves.
themselves. And, you know, you talk about like the gay guy music video night, and everyone just has different emotional
That was a
connections
question of mine
to,
about gay guy music video night.
yeah, they just have different emotional connections to various songs. So there's some kind of unifying force behind them.
Yeah, it does feel like you could, so going off the gay music video night, like you could literally be surrounded just watching this stuff on TV, or it could just be completely in the background during a cocktail party or a house party, and it wouldn't really make much of a difference,
No, yeah.
but it sets the tone.
Yeah.
I think that that's because it does add that other element of storytelling, and there's an opportunity for it to like extend itself in another way.
Yeah.
I think that's the best part.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Especially for pop, especially for, female rappers, anything like that. Missy Elliott, obviously, with her music videos and her choice of fashion back in the day.
Yeah.
I think they still rate, like lose control and, Pass That Dutch and like other stuff like that is like some of the best of all time. And I happen to agree because that Hype Williams time,
Yeah.
With her was incredible.
I'm very excited hearing these rumors about Madonna's Confessions too, and the fact that allegedly, we don't know, The Sun is reporting that there's this huge music video she's working on for the lead single, and they're
Her Sun or The Sun, the
no,
newspaper?
The Sun, the newspaper.
Got it.
But there are,
Okay.
I think, 40 or 50 dancers, a 200+ production team. It sounds like it's going to be big. So I am very excited.
I heard a rambling about that. I also heard that what she is doing with this new album, per se, according to, whoever talked to Stuart Price, her original collaborator on the original Confessions of a Dance Floor, is that she was almost like kind of putting a pin, or almost like, this is a big word, destroying like the last album, like not necessarily undoing, but she is setting the course for like, the art and the idea of it all is going in another direction.
Yeah.
Now there's someone who's intentional.
Incredible. Yes. And she always is pushing boundaries and zigging when others are zagging, and she is never afraid. I mean, like, look at Madam X, like that was a choice, and no one
that was a choice.
Like,
it was the first time I saw her live.
Same.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But it was something that no one else was doing. So she's never following trends or chasing anything.
Yeah. She did, so for those who may remember or don't, she did very much like a residency in about 3 or 4 different cities.
Yeah.
It was very Lisbon, like Portuguese influence, because that's where she was living at the time. She had moved there because of her son's like soccer aspirations, or something like that, if I remember. So she took that Basque like influence and really injected it into a 700-person theater, show each time.
Very intimate.
Where again, your phones were locked up,
which I loved.
Yeah. Yeah, like very much living in the moment, very intimate. You're not trying to take that picture.
Yeah.
But I think it worked. I think it was cool. I understand that she did what she did, but I thought it was a great concept. It's not anything I ever expected from her.
Yeah. And then seeing her at the Celebration tour, that was just...
Which is more of what she's known for, like
That was incredible.
Giant arena tours, which really was a celebration, and it's, that's why. So I actually think about the hung up like performance she did at the Grammys a lot.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
When we think about like the music video nights and all that, I think that's one of her best live performances, period. But what's like the last award show performance, not just for her, but for anyone, that actually felt like a moment for you?
Ooh, I mean, it's always just easy to say something Gaga related, so I won't. For me, I really liked Dua Lipa's Grammys performance of Training Season and Houdini.
Yeah.
Because she was debuting that song live at the Grammys, and her just being flung up on that box, I thought was so fun and exciting, and she really proved to everyone who thinks that she can't dance, that she can.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great performance.
I think she's gone off and now made like a solid effort. She doesn't really have to do it anymore, but like she's able to laugh at it now.
Yeah.
I'm sure like in the moment she was probably like freaking out, like, oh my God, and everyone thinks I'm a horrible dancer because of
Yeah.
that one leg, like, whatever video.
I've seen her a few times, and she gives
She's a performer.
110%.
Yeah. She not only looks great, she sounds fantastic. I
Yeah.
saw her at Madison Square Garden last year, and she was great.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing. She's awesome. I think the best award show performance I've seen recently was at the Brit Awards with Rosalia.
Oh,
and she
yes.
brought on Bjork
Yes. That was great.
for her new album, which was like insane. I think everyone in Gen X who was watching was going crazy when they saw Bjork, which is crazy that she even got her
Yeah.
in the first place. But I love that song. I love Rosalia. I think she's incredible. I hope she gets her flowers because the album is a treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is I'm going to switch to Watch What Happens for a bit. What does that
Yeah.
environment actually feel like from the inside? Like walk me through sort of a typical day of when you're shooting over there.
It's fun because every day isn't typical, and that's what I love about it. There are days where we'll be taping with, 2 people from Summer House, and then all of a sudden Jennifer Lopez is after them. So it's just like always a variety of characters.
Yeah.
And it is so fun, and the audience is so small. There are, I think, only like 20 or 25 people there.
Oh, that's even smaller than I thought.
It's gotten smaller since COVID.
Got it.
It used to be, I want to say, like 35 to 40, and then after COVID, it's
a real clubhouse.
it's a very
a clubhouse.
intimate, it's an intimate vibe. And one thing I love is that Andy will do a Q&A with the audience beforehand, and again, it's like no phones, and he's very forthcoming in those Q&As.
Yeah.
And it's very intimate, which I really appreciate and
Yeah.
like. And it's so fun, especially on nights where we're live, because truly anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite things is seeing viewers' reactions to things that are happening, and then we can address them in real time. Where
Yeah.
if, let's say, recently we had Tom Sandoval on the show with Chris from Vanderpump Rules from the new season.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of shade being thrown by Sandoval, and Sandoval was
God, he's
defending.
relentless.
I know, yeah. But Sandoval was defending Katie Maloney because Chris had said he didn't know who Katie Maloney was in some interview. So then,
and it was it like a respect your elders type thing?
kind
like,
of. But then what was crazy was we were getting all of these tweets and comments during the show.
Yeah.
That Andy then brought up to Tom. He was
Right.
like, how is it in 2026 we have Tom Sandoval like defending Katie Maloney? So it's always fun and it's always exciting. It really is the craziest place to work.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's boring.
No.
So what do you think makes him a strong host?
I think Andy is so good at listening to guests and knowing when to dig in and never leaving a stone unturned. A lot of times he's fishing for answers, and then it's wild. Sometimes we just will never know what will unearth some kind of like crazy story, which it's always exciting.
You mean when Naomi Campbell told the Icons party story?
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
And completely shaded, I don't know, was it Cardi B or Nicki Minaj or something
Both of
like
them,
that?
I think,
Both
yeah,
of
because
them?
they had gotten into a fight there,
Yeah.
and we asked Naomi about it, yeah.
Yeah. Love her.
She's great.
Why do you think Bravo fans are so like invested? What is it about them that makes them like developed as like a fan of something?
Yeah, the Bravo fandom, they are rabid. And
Yeah.
they just can't get enough. And it's something, it really is, I compare it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Yeah.
where once you start getting into Housewives of a certain city or a Summer House, it just opens up this whole universe, and you can't help but really
Dig
feed
in.
yourself with all of these shows. And everyone, I see it when I go to BravoCon, it's like 35,000 fans are going, and they are all fiending for any kind of interaction with a Bravo celebrity, and they just love all of them so much. And yeah, the Bravo fandom is amazing.
How long was BravoCon like in the works before it started? Because it almost feels like, oh yeah, totally. Like
Yeah.
why didn't they come up with this before? But they probably did. But
I'm not sure of that. The first one was in 2019, in the fall of 2019.
Oh, that's why.
In New
Yeah.
York.
Got it.
And it went really well, and then had to take a couple years off because of COVID. Then they did another one, I believe, in 2022 in New York,
Yeah.
and then we've since done the last two in Vegas.
Grew.
Which, yeah, it's grown, and I feel like Vegas is the perfect home for it.
Totally.
Because people can just make a girls' weekend out of it. It turns into an event and a spectacle, and Vegas is just ripe for Bravo fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you see Kylie
Yes.
Minogue get like her at her residency then?
Thank God. Well, this is Andy is the best boss I've ever had, but he, to his credit, he's just so generous. And for our Bravo, one of our Bravo cons, Kylie Minogue was opening her residency at Voltaire at the Venetian.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
she was opening it on BravoCon weekend, which was such a shame because we are working
The whole
around the
time,
clock.
yeah.
But then he reached out to her people to see if there was any kind of invited dress rehearsal or something. And he got myself and a few of our gays into the Friends and Family show. So we also had to put our phones away because it wasn't out to the public yet. But that is
Take
have
what
you
you can
been to
get.
Voltaire? It's
No, I know it was new.
Yes.
It was
There are-
just built a few years ago.
There are about 500 seats in there, so
Yeah.
it's very small. It's more of a nightclub vibe, and that was amazing. Kylie was singing "Spinning Around," and she got up on our cocktail table and was dancing around. And I was looking.
So
right
you
up
danced
at
with her twice, basically.
Yeah, it was wild.
You
It was amazing.
top mine did dancing with her once at that party we met at, but that's cool.
Yeah.
You also saw Wizard of Oz at the
At
Sphere.
the Sphere.
Yeah.
If you're going to Vegas, highly recommend. It is wild. The AI of it all is crazy.
Yeah.
It's so immersive. They have giant flying monkeys flying around.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, the Twister. You're not ready for the Twister.
Oh, they make you feel like you're
You're in a
tornado.
Twister. Yeah.
Yeah, and the like the apple tree, like when
Oh,
it's
yes.
throwing apples, it's throwing like
Yeah, when the
apples at you.
apple tree is throwing apples, they have apples falling from the ceiling. So if you are quick, you should grab an apple.
Grab an apple.
Yeah.
Got it. You touched on something about Bravo before, and you know why the fans are so devoted. I was gonna say I actually kind of almost think of it as Apple, like Apple the company, because they have such devoted fans, early adopters. They're pretty rabid. They're very opinionated. Obviously, it's one of the biggest companies in the world, but it's very much a closed ecosystem.
Totally.
And, and once you feel like you've got one product, like you really need the other ones that work along with it. And it does
Yeah.
feel like with Bravo, it's hard to like just tune into one show.
Yes,
And that-
it really is, because then you'll notice the Bravo celebrities start developing relationships
With each other.
people from other shows,
Yeah.
and then there's drama that bleeds from one show to another. Even like Southern Hospitality, you would never think that Southern Hospitality and Luann de Lesseps would be connected, but
No.
then there was all of this drama surrounding whether Luann had slept with Joe Bradley, and it's all connected, and it's wild, and I love it. And it's
Do you remember when Housewives first started?
Oh, for sure.
So when those shows were starting then versus now, it seems like there wasn't really much like a blueprint or a playbook per se.
No, it was very much like cinema verite, just sort of following these women around, and then it has evolved into what it is now.
What it is now.
And I remember watching it. My mom was watching a lot of Bravo, starting with Orange County.
That was the first one.
Yeah, and I would get glances of it in the living room, as I was and I would be like, "What is my mom watching?" And then when I was in college, I really dug into it, and I would just binge. They would do reruns all the time, so I would binge full seasons of New York or Atlanta. And then actually in college, I was the executive producer of our college's talk show, and going to school in LA,
Mm-hmm.
I really tried to take advantage of that. So I was trying to get any and all Bravo reality stars on our show. And we got Gretchen from Orange County. We got Vicky,
Oh,
Kyle.
yeah.
We got Patty Stanger, the
Yeah.
Millionaire Matchmaker. And then in a weird twist, I was trying to get Kim Zolciak. And her publicist was like, Kim really doesn't come to LA that often, but I do have this other pop singer. If you would have her name's Erica Jane. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. So Erica Jane came to our college talk show and she brought signed CDs. And I was like, this woman's amazing. I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Cut to years and years later, I'm working at Watch What Happens Live, and Andy mentions there's this new Beverly Hills housewife that he's obsessed with. He's like, her name's Erica Jane. She's a singer at night. And I'm like, what? And blew my mind. So it's very full circle.
Very full circle.
Yeah.
I mean, so now when these shows are made, what do you think is like the primary difference, other than the fact that many shows have come before it? Like at this point, when Roni's being rebooted, or if like a Real Housewives of Rhode Island, like for example, like the new one's coming out, which Auntie says is great.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really say much, but I've seen the first few episodes and my mouth is open the whole time.
Yeah.
I can't stop smiling. I'm obsessed with these women.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see how people respond to it because I think it's a hit.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited.
Well, what do you think people like, Bravo or the producers, or any of the producing partners know more now that like you didn't know then from like getting these shows off the ground or, pushing them forward, rebooting? Like, what do you think the lessons have been?
I think it's always about casting and about having an organic group of people, because I think viewers,
They'll know.
they'll suss out if things are fake or inauthentic.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. If it's
I think that's what Bravo does so well, is that all these
true.
people have real, true relationships with each other, and they're not, just trying to stir up drama for the sake of the show.
So wait, you moderated a panel at BravoCon.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
That was fun. It was sort of I believe it was called Bravo Celebrity Shop Off, and it was myself and then one of my coworkers / best friends, Danny Visconti, who also works at Watch What Happens Live with me, and we were basically doing a QVC-esque panel where Bravo celebrities could come and showcase their various items and merch at a discount.
Oh, so this is what we were talking about before, except like not for charity per se.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and so it was so fun because we'll just have a group of Bravo celebrities from various shows, and they all have, their hoodies, or like Kyle and Amanda had Loverboy, and they'll pitch it to the audience there, and they can get stuff for a discount. And yeah, it's super fun. I love doing it. I've done it twice now. It's been a blast.
Is it like, I mean, you're up at, that audience must have been.
It was packed.
Yeah.
I was really not shocked, but I was like,
Did you get
oh
stage
my
fright?
God. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Like, I think nerves are healthy to a certain point,
Because it reminds you of where you are.
Yeah. And growing up, I used to do theater, so I'm like used to being on stage.
Yeah, this is totally natural for you.
I mean, it's been a while since I've been on stage, so that was a little nerve-wracking, but just power through it. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk to you about something else. When Wicked was out,
Oh, yes.
you were hosting these sing-along screenings.
Yes.
Where you dressed up in like full alphabet drag.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how long that took, but it looked like it took a while to get green.
Yeah, probably like an hour and a half or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not just it's a lot for me still.
Yeah.
But you guys, it sounded like it was very successful. You were selling a fair amount of tickets. And for some reason, Fox News was like, decided to come down on you guys and like,
It was,
I don't know what was the headline again? What did they say?
Okay, so myself and my best friend Sam Golds and I always loved Rocky Horror and going to see those midnight movie
Yeah, where they
screenings.
throw the rice and
Yeah,
stuff.
and there
Yeah.
were all these props, and it's immersive. I love immersive shit. And in 2019, Alamo Drafthouse was doing rowdy cat screenings for the movie Cats.
Yeah.
And also had a blast at those. So then once they announced Wicked, and it was with Cynthia and Ariana, I was like, this is going to be a mega hit.
Huge. Yeah.
And I went to Sam. I was like, we need to just rent out a theater and have our own rowdy screening where we can just like sing along and we'll get props for everyone and we can turn it into a whole spectacle. And it just sort of ballooned from there. And for the first movie, we did it for about 75 or 80 people, I want to say. And rented out a theater at the AMC Empire in Times Square, and I made gift bags for everyone, just like in
you
Rocky
did?
Horror. Yeah, so everyone got like green and pink glow sticks and bubbles, and they had little.
It's like a whole experience.
Yeah, because I wanted it to feel immersive and just let's really lean into all of the wickedness and make this feel as fun as possible. And then I had various friends of mine playing different characters in sort of a shadow cast kind of way, like they would do with Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
And so we did this, and then people started posting about it on Instagram and TikTok, what have you, and it blew up. And I think one of the videos had like 12 million views or something, and Cynthia and Ariana reposted it. John M. Chu posted about it.
The director.
And but then it also got the attention of Fox News, and it turned into a whole segment on the Laura Ingraham show.
Yes.
I'm not the biggest Fox News watcher, so I wasn't very aware of this, but they thought that we had just barged into a random public screening in full like Elphaba. I was on this guy's shoulders, and they thought that we were just
being theater kids.
Kids in a random movie theater, and they were complaining and talking so much shit about us, being like, this is horrible, yada yada. And yeah, it was wild. I was, it's
kind of an honor.
Fox News. Yeah, I loved it. And then for part 2, we went bigger and bigger. So we rented out a bigger theater, and this time we had, I think, 170 seats, which
it's a lot.
It was a lot, and I'm
sold out.
And it sold out, and I am a producer in my day job, but I didn't really think of also things started getting grander and grander. I got a hoverboard so I could fly as Elphaba, and I got, for Girl in the Bubble, I had to get one of those outdoor, those like Zorbs.
I knew you were gonna go there.
Yeah, so I had to get this outdoor inflatable bubble thing.
The ones that you like run
Glinda.
in.
Yes, exactly. And I just started getting all of this stuff shipped to my studio apartment, and then I started making all these gift bags for people. And I looked around the week of the screening, and I was like, I can't just take an Uber to the theater. So I had to rent a U-Haul, a Sprinter van, so I could fit all of these props and costumes and stuff. And of course, it was just, it ballooned out of control. But me driving through the Midtown Tunnel in full Elphaba green with an entire Sprinter van, it was a sight to see.
That's awesome.
It was fun.
That's kind of, I mean, look, you commit to the bit. That's for sure.
Do I?
Like all the way through.
Yeah.
But that's something I've always appreciated about you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like fans at their best really do, when they take it in such like a creative direction that you would have never expected before, and you add your own like shine and shimmer to it.
Yeah, it was a blast. And it was very fun. A couple months before part 2 came out, I went to LA. I was invited to go to, it was called Wicked One Wonderful Night, and it was incredible. It was at the Dolby Theater.
Yes, they were there live.
Cynthia and Ariana and the cast of Wicked, they were there, and they performed all of the songs from the first movie live with new arrangements. It was so incredible, and walked away, and I was just blown away. I go with my friend Scott. We go to In-N-Out after, up in the valley. I open the door, and who is there but John M. Chu waiting for his food.
Nice.
And I was like, oh my God. And I was in a pink suit. He was in a green suit. We were like, oh my God, John, we just came from One Wonderful Night. That was amazing.
We just came from Oz.
Yeah.
We were just saying hi.
And he's like, oh, I'm so happy you guys were there. And then I pointed out, I was like, actually, John, you reposted some stuff that I did for the first movie. I did this rowdy sing-along screening where everyone was in costumes, and he was like, wait, that was you? So then we had a long talk at In-N-Out, and we were spitballing ideas for the second movie. He's like, what are you going to do for the second part?
Yeah.
I was like, I had someone dressed up.
He was asking you.
Yeah. So I was getting his advice on stuff.
Feedback from the guy, from the director.
Seen part 2 yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to get a tornado. I need to get a house. I need a scarecrow that like the Osguards can beat up. And he loved it. And then he reposted the videos again for the second movie, which is amazing.
That's...
Yeah,
I'm speechless.
It was amazing.
I didn't listen. I didn't get to go. I didn't know how much really went into this, but that's phenomenal.
It was great. And then for the second screening, someone in the audience
Eat your heart out, Sphere Wizard of Oz.
Exactly. Someone in the audience has somewhat of a relationship with Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
And so he was sending her videos on Instagram live throughout the thing, and she was freaking out. So just knowing that she loved it is
everything
enough for me.
Yeah, totally. I came up with a game for you. I'm calling it overrated or underrated.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna throw a bunch of stuff out there. You let me know, how you're feeling about it.
Oh,
okay. We'll start with an easy one. Lady Gaga's jazz era.
Underrated.
Yeah.
She does not get enough credit. I highly recommend. This came out in an MTV Japan, so you might have to dig around a little bit, but her documentary called Lady and the Legend that chronicles her and Tony Bennett's relationship. It's not out in the US. Look around for it online. Absolutely incredible. I wept like a baby. And it really makes you understand how much she loves jazz and how much she loves Tony.
Well, by the way, you forget, she's an Italian American that grew up in the US, and we forget that our parents and grandparents, Tony Bennett was a huge deal.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Frank, it was Tony.
Yeah.
So the fact that she got to work with one of her heroes is massive.
It's crazy.
The Chromatica Ball.
Chromatica Ball, underrated. If anything, Gaga is underrated. I think no one gives her enough credit.
Anything she does is underrated. Okay, how about pop stars doing Broadway?
I say not underrated, but not overrated. I think it has to be the right situation. Love Nicole Scherzinger in Sunset Boulevard. I'm very excited to see what she does next in the Broadway space.
Yeah, the revival of cabaret in New York.
I would say I did not see it in New York, but I saw it in London, and I loved it. Mm-hmm. So probably underrated.
Yeah, because it's been rebranded as the Kit Kat Club.
Yes.
But it's smaller. But it is the same show?
Yes, but it's done in the round. Yeah. Although, speaking of reimagined productions, I just saw Masquerade, which is the immersive Phantom of the Opera musical, and that can't recommend it enough.
Really?
It is so good.
Yeah.
It's just, your mind is blown. It's like Sleep No More, but you're going through the story of Phantom.
That's what it looked like when I saw your Instagram
it's
stories.
Incredible.
Does the chandelier drop from the ceiling onto your head? Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing? Okay. All right. If I will go to try to, narrowly avert a chandelier dropping on my head. The Drag Race global franchises, outside of the U.S.
I love Drag Race.
Yeah.
I do think a little overrated.
It's a little all over.
It's just
they want it to be on loop all year long,
and it's similar to the Bravo ecosystem, but for me, I can't. I don't have the bandwidth to take on more than just the U.S. seasons.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll watch UK or Australia or sometimes, there's just a lot.
I know. It does feel like. Listen, if you're cashing a check, you're cashing a check. And for RuPaul, great job.
Yeah.
In creating what you created, but I agree. Liza Minnelli's legacy today.
I would say it's not overrated. It's not underrated.
Yeah.
I think she gets her flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is she to you?
I love her.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She's everything. There's a giant Liza print in my kitchen.
I know.
Yeah.
But was she like your first icon growing up?
I think once I realized that she was the daughter of Judy Garland, yes. Because I was obsessed with Wizard of Oz. And then latched onto that right away.
Right. Now, what about Broadway revival culture?
I say overrated.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to see some more original material, but I do know it's very difficult right now with Broadway and with just the state of theater in general.
Yeah.
So I think I like a revival when there are dramatic shifts. Like, I'm very excited for the Jellicle Ball.
You saw it.
I saw it off Broadway, and now it's coming to Broadway, and I'm very excited to see the transfer and to see how they do it in a traditional theater.
You mean like a bigger theater?
Yeah. And the off-Broadway production was a runway through the center of the space, which obviously they aren't doing for a Broadway theater. So
Gotcha. I mean, you said great things about it.
it was incredible. Yeah.
What struck a chord?
Just the fact by putting it in the ballroom, I think it completely changed the story and how these cats, you know, they're all disenfranchised and they're trying to go to the Heaviside Lair. But I think if you take that and put it through a queer subtext, it means a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was advertised, I think. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
ball. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's amazing.
Does it feel like, a Paris is Burning type of energy? It's
Absolutely.
very that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm down. I would love that. So what's still exciting you most about the world you live in now? Like every day?
Ooh. I mean, I think there's always something new and exciting that's just around the corner. So I'm very excited for Casey Musgrave's new album because that's just tickling my fancy.
What about Harry's new album?
I'm into it. I know it's not getting the best reviews,
The
but
Harry Styles album?
yeah,
Yeah.
it got like a 5.3, I think, on Pitchfork or something.
Pitchfork.
Yeah, Pitchfork's very tough, but
Yeah.
that's
it. One word for
it's
it.
It's a good vibey album for
Yeah,
me,
it
and
is.
I
By the way, following up an album like the one he just made is
Yeah.
really hard to do. And Charlie XCX
Yeah.
had literally gone on record and said, like, listen, the album after Brat is like not gonna be good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are looking for, which is a very fair, like, open, honest thing to say for an artist because following that big hit up
Yeah.
there's a lot of pressure.
Totally.
And everyone's like, are they still going to like maintain it or is it going to like drop down and break? It's tough.
yeah,
It's really tough and it's all high concept.
yeah.
What about new Bravo anything? What
Very
about
excited for Rhode Island and also the new season of Atlanta Housewives.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be good.
what about Roni?
Brony, I'm
you-
very excited for this new cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mix of well, it's actually it is a bit of a mix of the old cast and the newer cast and
Yeah.
the newer people on top
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. So I'm very intrigued and I'm excited.
So before we cheers, what would you like to be celebrating right now and the time to come?
I think it's like the world is so crazy right now.
Yeah.
I think just really focus on what you love and who you love because that will take you through everything and anything.
Amen.
Yeah.
Cheers to that. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
So happy.